Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. My name's Tracy, and as always, here with my husband Noel. He is running our graphics and controlling all of our cameras. And today is Monday. Happy Memorial Day. Good morning, Southern Charm. Hello, hello. Did you guys, hi Missy, did you guys do anything fun this weekend? It was miserable. Well, I don't want to say miserable in Pennsylvania, but it just rained. It rained the whole weekend. I was supposed to do a ton of yard work. That's not getting done. Hello, previously mentioned. So I didn't do a whole lot. I went to the antique store. I did some shows. I did some packing. Did our podcast last night. And that was pretty much our weekend. Today, thank goodness, I don't have to do my 9 to 5. So I can hang out here as long as I want this morning. And I'm going to wrap up our shipping. And that's it. That's what we're doing today. So what about you guys? Anything fun this weekend? Do you guys do barbecues? I guess today's the barbecue day, right? Today's like everybody gets together and does their barbecue. It rained. Yeah, it's been for a holiday weekend, I feel bad. My son, he lives in an RV in like an RV park, and he's like a long-term, he parks it there for, 10 months out of the year. And he says all the people coming into the RV park down is kind of like northern Maryland. He's like, I felt bad for him. Like all these people are here on vacation and it was just pouring all weekend long. So other than that, I am, first of all, surprised. Thank you guys for being here this morning. I was wondering when I got up, I'm like, oh, with the holiday, I wonder if it's going to be like a super light day today. Hello, Coastal Peacock. Happy Memorial Day. So I was wondering how many people would actually be up and awake at 7 a.m. this morning, or if everybody's sleeping in. So I don't have to work. I don't know about you guys. Anybody here, do you have to work today? I mean, besides whatnot, like, do you have to go to a 9 to 5 today? I love when I have my 3-day weekends. I just feels like today I have plans to get 6 packing orders. Yep, that's what my orders are wrapped. I'm about to put them in boxes. I'll previously mentioned you have to. Every day said it. Missy, I'm so jealous. I am. I love the thought of today is like this huge blank slate. I feel like I have probably 100 hours in front of me, but come 5 o'clock tonight, I'm going to be like, how come today didn't feel as long as it should have been? Tim is off today, going to an auction. Oh, that sounds fun. So I do most of my auctions online. And then I'm a little spoiled because my son works at one of our auction houses. So every Friday, the auctions run on Thursday, and every Friday I send him a message. I'm like, can you pick up my stuff for me? Look at you over there complaining. Listen to him, y'all. I don't give him a 3-day weekend. So, what else do we have going on? You guys, CEO Challenge. I know we just came off of season 1, but guess what? Season 2 is scheduled. It is ready. I have the applications. I already have quite a list that I will be sometime today sending out the applications to. If you guys are interested, season 2 is going to run for the month of July. We're only going to do 4 weeks, not 5. Last time I had another raid train kind of in the middle that I had to take care of. This time, 4 weeks, the whole month of July. If you are interested in the CEO Challenge, shoot me a DM. I'll send you the application. I'm trying to get them up on my website. I'm having a little bit of difficulties. We're working on it. So eventually everything's going to be on the website. But for right now, if you are interested or know somebody who may be interested in being a participant on the CEO Challenge, have them DM me and I will get their application. Good morning, I Love Discounts. If y'all don't know what the CEO Challenge is, so it is a 4-week challenge raid train reality TV. He's like, my husband stares at me like, just let me play the video. We'll play you the video. I'll talk about it while he's getting that queued up and ready. But it's where we pick 6 participants to work on their business. It's about building the business, not just the show. And 6 people, he did work hard on that video. Are you ready to play the video? I'll let him play it for you and then I'll tell you about it. Yes, he can have his moment.
Six sellers, growing, learning, building. Through weekly challenges, building the business, not just the show. Welcome to the CEO Challenge.
So the 6 you saw were our season 1 participants. And so what we're talking about, if you're just joining, is we are now gearing up for season 2, which will take place in July. Learning, growing, building. Yes, that is what it is all about. And season 2 is going to be all new challenges. We will still have the metric challenge because that's just key to every business. But basically what happens is every single week of the 4 weeks, the participants have a new challenge in their business that they need to face. And this isn't something that's like, go do cartwheels out in the grass. It is something to work on your business. So whether it's improving something, a system, a strategy, taking a look at your business in a new way. So every week there's a challenge. Every Tuesday night we come together for a raid train that showcases our 6 participants. They do some sort of combination of talking about their business and our selling, but you get to follow along right with them, get an insight into what the struggle is, how they're trying to overcome it through the implementing these challenges. And like I said, then that's our reality TV, the showcase, and the challenge part of it. So I'm pretty excited. If you are interested in being a participant, DM me. I'll get you the application. So in addition to that, if you are selected as a participant, some of the benefits to you are just kind of unlimited. We'll do coaching throughout the month if you want any type of discussions. We will be putting videos up that only you have access to. You get access to a lot of the materials that we have to offer. So things like that. And of course, we're going to be promoting you for the whole month. So that's CEO Challenge. What else is coming up? You guys, today, of course, these shows are always about talking about what you guys want to talk about. I always have a few topics in reserve just in case you're quiet. And we have some stuff in the auction tab if you're interested. $4.50 shipping. But I thought we could talk a little bit about commitment today. You know, we always talk about consistency. I wanted to talk a little bit about commitment. It kind of dawned on me last night. I was thinking about commitment as we were talking about technology in our podcast. So we'll get there. But part of kind of what goes into commitment is, am I proposing? Yes. Will you marry me, Southern Charm? Do I have to get down on one knee too? I love discounts. It actually had nothing at all to do with you last night. Nothing at all. It actually was during the middle of the show when I started thinking about using technology to help you fulfill your commitments. Free shipping? Whoa, wait a minute. What are you promising there, mister? I don't know what you're talking about. So kind of along the way of commitment, what was going through my head is scheduling out your shows. We talk about consistency, right? We talk about showing up for your shows. But what about making the commitment to be there to begin with? To me, there's a huge difference between commitment and consistency. Consistency is just the act of showing up. We have free shipping in writing now. I'll tell you what, we'll do free shipping on his show. I actually, y'all, I do free shipping on Fridays. I don't usually do bigger things. We may get there. I'm at $4.50. $4.50 is pretty darn close. We may get back to free shipping. I did free shipping for 6 months. Happy to talk about it if anybody's curious on how to implement it, how to make it work. Happy to talk about that. Right now, I've decided to try to reserve free shipping for more like special events. I think it holds a little more weight there. Mamas, I don't know if that's a yes for if you want to hear more about it or not. If you guys want to talk free shipping, throw something in there. We'll talk free shipping. In the meantime, yes, hear about it. Okay, so we have Mama wants to hear about it, so we're going to talk about it. You guys, if you have questions on free shipping or reduced shipping or not how to set up your shipping, I'm going to direct you to I Love Discounts for like the technicalities of shipping. Go talk to them tonight at 5. They do a Ship Happen show. But for me, I have never made any I've never hidden the fact that I am a huge proponent for free and reduced shipping, not just as a buyer, but as a seller. I know there's a big movement, particularly lately. I hear more and more sellers saying, you could do buyer pays all. You could charge full price for shipping. People will buy it. If they want it enough, they'll buy it. They'll pay the shipping cost. There's truth to that. But let's face it. I want to offer, but worried how to make it work. Okay. Let's face it. If you have two sellers that for all intents and purposes are equal sellers, they're both entertaining, they both have about the same type of vintage items you like. One, you have to pay full price shipping, or one you get reduced and then it's free after that once you hit that max limit. Most of us are going to go to the one that's going to save us a buck or two. That's human nature. So why wouldn't we be harnessing that as sellers? The biggest reason is what Mama says, I want to offer but don't know how to make it work. I'm afraid of how much money I'm spending. So think about it like this, first of all. Is there anybody here who has thought about offering reduced, and I'm just going to focus on reduced because I know a lot of people aren't even near the free shipping mark yet. So let's focus on reduced. Is there anybody here who has thought about it as a seller and has said, no, I can't afford it? I can't afford it. Is that thought gone through people's minds? I love discounts. I love discounts offers reduced shipping. Southern Charm says, yes, it eats into profits is what people think. I walk away from a lot of things I would like to buy, but the shipping stops me. Okay. Yes, before and after. So you're questioning after. Okay. The question is, have you ever thought, I want to offer reduced shipping, but I'm afraid I can't afford it? Have you ever thought that in your head? So for anybody who has said yes, my question then becomes, have you done giveaways? Have you put things in people's boxes? So Wishlist Rose offers reduced, but you're still fairly new, and it's okay if you're fairly new. So Mama says yes, very small giveaways. So everybody who's saying yes, how much, just think, and you don't have to give us dollar amounts. I don't expect anybody to share, private information. But think about how much money you have given in giveaways. So all of that adds up. When I do these shows, speaking of giveaways, we're going to run right now. Just in these shows, if I do 10 CEO, I don't have one, here it goes. We do a CEO little pack here, affirmation cards, little pack. That's what we do our giveaways. I value that, my cost, at about $3 once I put in shipping and the cost of the items that go in there. 3 times 10 is $30 for today's show if we get through all 10. So think about, it adds up really quickly. Even if you're like, oh, it's just a couple of stickers, or it's just a vintage postcard in an envelope, or, it's PWE. So you start thinking about the price of that. Only the person who wins that giveaway benefits from that. If you offer reduced shipping, everybody in that room can benefit. Everybody has the opportunity by swiping to benefit from that. Not only that, if you take the money that you're doing in giveaways and you funnel it into a reduced shipping, and it doesn't have to be, good morning, the Vintage Bree, it doesn't have to be $4.50 shipping. $9.21 is going to cover most orders that people have. A lot of times, if you take that money and you put it into a reduced max shipping of $9.21, you're going to end up spending the exact same amount of money you are already spending in the majority of cases. So that's just kind of one mindset shift to think about when you're thinking about reduced shipping. There are times to use and times not to, correct. 20-minute raid train's not good for us, less than $9.21. Exactly. Coastal Peacock, you make a great point. This is the other part of reduced shipping that you have to consider. When does it make sense to use it? I totally agree. I'm even to the point where super short raid trains, for me, aren't profitable. I have specific criteria for me to say yes to a short raid train, such as Shalom and Grammy G's raid train that they asked me to be on for 15 minutes. I said yes because that, to me, is community. It's showing back my respect and appreciation to people who have supported me. So it's giving back. So, but you've got to consider, when is it working, when is it not? If you're going to do a big show of bread boxes, a big show of a lot of breakable glass, maybe that's not the time to do it. If you're selling jewelry, it's probably a lot easier. If you're selling smaller, maybe the little printer tray things, or like today's show, Monday and Wednesdays, when I'm selling things that I can fit 4 or 5 items in a box, it makes it, that sting on you as a seller, a lot easier. The other thing I want you to consider, just about every single person who has tried reduced shipping, and put, if you agree with this statement, I want you to throw something in the chat. When you have tried reduced shipping, when you have switched to a reduced shipping model, you have more people in your room and more bids. Chatty Wampus agrees. Coastal Peacock agrees. Southern Charm. So what happens is now we're taking money that we're already spending. We're not going to do them little giveaways. We're not going to do the stuff in the boxes. We're taking that money. We're putting it into a reduced shipping model of, like, say, $9.21. Then the increased people coming into your room, the increased sales that you're going to get helps cover the rest of that expense. Will you be paying something out of pocket? 100%. But you have more sales to support that. What about increasing starting bid to compensate for free shipping, higher start bid than normal? Wishlist Rose, I think that's an absolutely terrible idea, and I'm not picking on you. I heard another seller give that advice, and I was cringing when I heard that. I think it's a bad idea. Why? Your customers are going to see right through it. And the purpose to give reduced shipping, okay, it is that you are giving your customers an incentive to purchase from you. You are giving them something to spend more money with you. By just removing the price here, but adding the price over here isn't an incentive. What are you doing for your customers in that aspect? Why as a customer would I want to do that? If I was already coming to your room and I was paying, $3, maybe your starting prices are $3 and I'm paying all the shipping, and now all of a sudden you're going to say, okay, I'm going to do reduced at $9.21, but my starting bids are now $7. It's not going to encourage the more bids you need to offset the reduced shipping. To me, it's counterproductive to do that. And I know other people are going to say, oh, just increase your starting prices. I 100% disagree. You're going to shoot yourself in the foot. And what you're going to do is you're going to do a show or two like that, and you're going to say, I didn't see any difference. Well, of course you didn't see any difference, because all you did was move what they're paying from one bucket to another bucket. Would you offer lower shipping on a $1 starting bid, 10-second sudden death, 30-minute rate train? Previously mentioned, you got that giveaway. Congratulations. Would I offer lower shipping on a $1 starting bid, 10-second sudden death, 30-minute rate train? Probably not. I may do $9.21 depending on what I was selling in that rate train. So in a case like that, if I was selling jewelry or something that I know is relatively light, I may do $9.21. I wouldn't go any lower than that. But that type of situation, probably not. However, keep in mind, you guys, and this is the other part of it that you really, really, really need to consider, especially with the starting bids of $1 and reduced shipping. It has to make sense for the person to buy it. If they can't get over that hurdle of that first purchase, you're never going to get anywhere. You're like, okay, well, I was doing $1 starts, but you were charging $9.21 shipping, right? Like, is the item worth $10? Let me give you a perfect example. We got this little figurine here, right? This is in the auction tab. I'm charging $4.50. It starts at $1. So if you got it for $1, paid $4.50, $5, yeah. You couldn't really go anywhere else, find this exact one for $5. But if I was charging $9.21 and $1 starting bid, would you be super tempted? I would be like, $10 for a figurine. I'm not so sure, right? So that question there then leads to the next thing you start to consider is the show flow, the sequence of how you present your items. That then becomes important. So I was in a show a little bit off of the shipping. If you guys have any other free shipping, reduced shipping questions, feel free to put them in there. Anything's going through your head like, yeah, but this is still my hurdle. Yeah, but throw them in there. I'm happy to try to kind of give you my perspective on that. That kind of leads me to the next thing about when you are offering a reduced shipping and you're trying to get people to get over that hurdle of bidding. That first bid is really hard for people, especially when it's at $9.21. Think about the order in which you show your products, which you show your items. I wrote this in a chat show the other day, and somebody answered me, wow, you put them in a certain order? 100% I put them in a certain order. Because I'm going to put the things that are easier for people to bid on with the lower weight to get over that hurdle to get the ball rolling. Sometimes it just takes that first bid and then people open up and they start bidding more. So thinking about where you place your items in your show. Yeah, breaking shipping is a thing. Absolutely. Getting past that initial hurdle, particularly for people who are doing 921 shipping. I would put my lighter items at the beginning, my mid-range, build up to a higher and go back down to a more of a mid-range. There should be kind of this pivotal moment in your show, right? It kind of builds up. You're getting that excitement going. We're building to that really cool thing. And then we're kind of coming back down. The bell curve, yes. That also works in line with your shipping. So you have to think, if you're doing 921 shipping and you put everything at £1, that means that person has to pay 921 right off the bat. And if you're not pre-listing, that's a huge hurdle for somebody to say, okay, I'm going to buy this item and pay 921 shipping and keep my fingers crossed that they have something more that I want, versus having stuff in your bin, pre-listing, and then buyers being able to flip through and say, oh, okay, if I buy that, there's three or four more things that I really would bid on that maybe I won't win all of them, but if I win 2 of them, I'm good. At least I filled my box. I have utilized my shipping in a way that feels beneficial to me. So I don't know if you guys does anybody else, are you guys considering this? Do you guys think like this? These are the thoughts that go through my head all the time. I don't want to pay up front for a full amount and then not buy anything else. That's huge. That's one of the positives to doing the pre-listing, right? I have found success lately in pre-listing. I used to do all randoms, always have box fillers. Exactly. There is another movement going around Whatnot. I hear a lot of the talk of, I think things are trendy. Things come and go on Whatnot. For a while, you're going to hear everybody says, do it this way. And then that kind of dies off. And then there's another new way. It's like dieting, right? It's like you had some big diet fad and that kind of fades off. There's still a few people doing it. And then the next diet fad comes up. The same thing with the way we're going to hear about how to handle things on Whatnot. So some of the new ones I'm hearing are, don't list anything in your bin. It's distracting to people. It takes too much time. People like to have something to do. People like to have something to go and look at. If you're in the middle of running something that they're not interested in, they can go to your bin and look. They can also utilize their shipping to fill up their boxes. And there's very few people on this app that are doing free shipping. Very few. At least in the categories that I frequent. Storage units, estates, vintage, things like that. There's very few. So the shipping does matter. I'm a lister. I like going to show and seeing what will be there. Now, and I 100% agree. Of course, that's why I pre-list. The element of surprise where people are doing random polls is a thing. It's real. People have that FOMO. It's almost like that gambling, oh, what's going to come next? I just got to see what's coming next. So having a little mix never hurts. Shipping is talked about so much, it seems like it should be an easy thing. I think shipping is actually easy, honestly. I think we tend to overcomplicate the shipping. I don't want to get into technicalities. I'm going to refer you to I Love Discounts at 5 o'clock tonight for all technicalities. However, Whatnot shipping, if you just use it for what it is, forget all the fancy baloney that Whatnot has in there. Just put your weights in the way you're supposed to put your weights in. Let Whatnot's system do its thing. It is easy. When it becomes complicated is everybody has their workaround, their hint, their tip, their this is going to save you money solution that then starts to complicate the system. Coastal Peacock says, I like having items in case I need to run something while I adjust or find items. Exactly. Having stuff on backup is never a bad idea. You will typically overpay on random poll shows. I for Beauty, why do you say that? Curious on the why do you think people pay on random poll shows? Is it because you get caught up in the excitement of it so much? The right way is always the best. Exactly. There you go. The right way is the best way. It's just easy. So that's it. You think people get caught up in that excitement of what's coming up next and they see it and they're like, oh, that's so cool. And then they overpay. Overpaying, that's another tricky thing. I can't necessarily say that I disagree with you, but I feel I have to put faith in the fact that every buyer determines their own value. So that if the buyer is determining their own value, is it really overpaying? If this cup for me is $5, but to somebody in the room is worth 20 because their dad had the exact same cup, dad's passed away, this reminds them of dad and they want it, and this cup is worth 20 because of that, are they overpaying just because in my mind it's only $5? I don't think so. But I can see on the other side of that, I can easily see, I had a conversation, I was talking to Southern Charm and I text her about when people are in certain rooms, and I'm not talking about any of these rooms, but they go into certain rooms and items get bid way up, and everybody's like, man, they're like half that cost on eBay, or like, that is really a lot of money. I can see the other side of it, because as a seller, it can be difficult when I see items that somebody else has that I have, and they're getting bid up so high because they're buying that experience, they're buying some emotion versus buying a product. Random polls remove the ability for a buyer to reason. I think they can reason, but they have to reason so fast that and most people don't have parameters around their buying, which then leads to exactly what you're saying, Eye for Beauty. Worth is what somebody is willing to pay, 100%. And so what's my job as a seller? My job as a seller is to figure out why these other sellers can create that worth in their room, and what am I not doing right, and what do I need to fix on myself? Instead of being jealous, it's what do I change for me, right? What is the alert? Whatnot will start having sellers. Timeless treasures, congratulations. Congratulations. What is the alert? Whatnot will start having sellers pay for shipping costs. Truly me? Have they been paying additional shipping on sellers? I'm not sure what you're asking, wish list. I think the buyer decides. A small seller might have something for $5, but a big seller might sell it for $20. But people pay for the attention, 100%. Some people just want to be like, look, if your favorite movie star came to town, this is like concert tickets, right? This is no different. You have a brand new artist, not big yet, their concert tickets might be $80. You get somebody who's super, you get Taylor Swift come to town and you're paying $300-400 for their concert tickets. They're buying the experience. They're buying, what into the name. Oh, I see an alert like this under fulfillment. Oh, are you talking about the carrier adjustments? Wishlist Rose, tell me about, if you're going to your shipping screen and up at the top it says carrier adjustments are coming. Is that what you're talking about? Okay. So it's not anything new with shipping. It's not nothing is changing. It's just now that Whatnot has been paying when the post USPS charges overages. If you don't weigh your item properly or put the proper dimensions, box dimensions, USPS charges Whatnot for that. Whatnot is like, hey, everybody, we're done. You're going to pay for it as a seller, because there are a proliferation of sellers not doing shipping correctly. The biggest thing that is out there, that is being sold to people, that is being told to people, that people are repeating over and over, is that you do not have to change your box sizes. That you put your weight in there and you do not have to change your box sizes. That is 100% incorrect. It is wrong. Anybody who's saying that to you is 100% wrong, and I don't care how big or small they are. You have to change your box sizes per terms of service and per USPS. That's the problem, is that Whatnot was covering it, and people got too big for their britches, and the word spread around that you don't have to, and now everybody has to pay the price for that. So that's what's happening. Last week, I refused to pay $15 for any book that was running until they pulled one that would be perfect for my collection. 100%. This is the other thing that people miss. We're going to do the pre-bids too. Thank you, guys. I see a bunch of pre-bids on there. We're about to get to them. This is the other thing that people miss, is that Whatnot, while there's a lot of people on here who are just collectors, how many people here think that the majority of their room are resellers? I know for me, I know the majority of my audience is resellers, is other people on this app. I'll talk about that. I love discounts. So, as a reseller, are we going to pay more or less for items? It's basic, common like business structures. Like how do you buy your inventory, right? So if you have collectors, they will probably buy more or pay more because it's for a personal collection. I will pay up any day for a piece of glass or milk glass in particular for my own collection, but I wouldn't pay. Perfect example. I bought at auction a vintage milk glass piece. It has the lion head on. It's a compote with the lion. I paid $80 for it. I would never pay $80 to resell that. I would pay $80 to put it in my cabinet and enjoy it for myself. I wouldn't pay more than maybe $15 if I was going to resell that. Huge difference in price on if I'm reselling or if I'm buying for myself. What about leaving the label weight a bit over the actual weight? I like to keep some extra ounces in case. I always do that. Wildflowers for the table, I think it's a wonderful idea. I always like to pad mine a couple of ounces just to be safe. So if you were here a couple of weeks ago, I had two carrier adjustments where they were 4 pounds something ounces, and the USPS came back and told Whatnot that they were 20 pounds, both of these boxes. There is no way. I took a picture of them on the scale before I sent it. My shipping scan I do on my scale now. I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with Whatnot. Basically, they won't do anything about it. They told me, we're not charging you yet. Don't worry about it. We'll have a way to dispute it when those charges start hitting your ledger. Was the ultimate resolution. I was not happy with it, but it is what it is. I pay for my collection. I'm going to look for items. I still have some meat on the bones. 100%. We can't pay up to have stuff that we're going to resell. We have to be smart in our sourcing. I heard a big seller say that they don't have time to change the weights and sizes, and that's the problem. And I have had sellers a particular seller come in my room. I don't want to say harass, but made it known that they knew that I was speaking out against this practice. I will continue to speak out against this practice. Because why? It hurts you, it hurts me, and it hurts every other honest seller on this app. How does it hurt us? One, Whatnot was covering these. If I were to make an honest mistake, all of us at some point are going to make some honest mistake in our shipping. You're going to scroll, you're going to forget to change a weight. There are honest mistakes. Whatnot was covering honest mistakes. Now, Whatnot's not going to cover any of it. And I'm not saying do this or ignore things. You need to do the right thing. But because of this, now we are absorbing honest mistakes. That's one. Two, when the buyer has to pay for an overage, that buyer gets turned off to Whatnot. How many times can you have a package show up with postage due before you say, heck with this, I'm not shopping on Whatnot at all? That customer that big buyer just pissed off could be my next customer that now I don't have the chance to impress with proper shipping. So it hurts all of us. In addition, the more we take advantage of USPS and cost them money. Every time we do something against the rules for USPS, not doing our shipping properly, it costs USPS money. It's theft from the USPS system. Theft cost us ultimately. Why? USPS is going to say they already have financial difficulties. Eventually they will say, we can't afford to give you free boxes anymore. I don't know about you, but for me, that's a huge savings in my business because boxes cost anywhere from 50 cents to $1.50 a piece for every single box. So every time one of these sellers is teaching, selling, and spreading misinformation about shipping, it hurts me personally along with everybody else on this app. That's why I will continue to speak out against it. That's the worst. When you hear a seller say it's a waste of time for them to do anything that's beneficial to the buyer. Exactly. I wish Whatnot would have shows to address any major changes and allow Q&A. Wishes they kind of do. They don't necessarily allow Q&A, but I think most of the questions get answered. If you watch Whatnot Sellers, is that the name of the proper show? If anybody knows when Whatnot Sellers is on, what day of the week? Wednesdays is Whatnot Sellers, and anything coming new they usually address in those shows. And the other place to go to, Wishlist Rose, they don't have a Q&A, but they address things. But the blog is another place to read about it, and usually they'll have links to terms of service, which has more information. So the Whatnot blog page also, it's blog.teamwhatnot.com. Glad Whatnot is exploring. Absolutely. Whatnot said other shipping options are coming, hopefully soon. Weigh items, put the size in. Exactly. So the smaller sellers that take bad advice are going to get stung. Oh my gosh, yes. Kate, you know what? I'm just waiting for the day. I am waiting for the moment, and it's coming any day now. Whatnot, those charges aren't just going to be informational, those carrier adjustments. They are going to hit our ledgers, and they're going to come out of our money that we have there on Whatnot. And all of these small sellers that aren't shipping thousands of boxes a week are going to get hit so hard with their shipping charges because they are not doing it properly, because they bought into some big seller's bad advice, and then they're going to be screaming. But you know what? There is enough good advice on this app. I could probably name 20 people off the top of my head without thinking about it. They give good shipping advice. They do it right. That's going to tell you right. The good information is out there. And if you are a seller who chooses to ignore the good information, then shame on you. That's on you. I can understand. Look, I for beauty, I assumed. I just knew that you disagreed, so I knew it. We're good. As a brand new seller, if you come to this app and one of the first people you go to are one of these big sellers selling you bad shipping information, I will give you some grace. I will give you a little bit of grace because people go to chat shows to hear information, right? I get that. But once you know better, once you've read the terms of service, once you've heard that that's wrong and you continue to do it, then shame on you. That's your fault. The only way to grow is to continue learning. Nothing stays the same. Exactly. And this may be a controversial thing I'm about to say. If for anybody who intentionally chooses to do shipping in the wrong manner, I don't feel bad for you. I'm glad you're going to get caught. I do not feel bad. Do business honestly. It's not hard. Do the right thing. So, awesome, SS Vintage. I have, besides the two that are completely incorrect, most of mine that I saw were the 1 or 2 ounce adjustments. It was where I maybe said it was 8 ounces and it was actually 11. Or it's those little 1 or 2. And I think that's because my scale is more than likely calibrated slightly different than the USPS scale. So I'm just adding a few ounces now to compensate for any of that. All right, let's run through these pre-bids, and then we'll get back to talking.
It is time for pre-bids.
I have another topic, but of course, if you guys have anything else on your mind, if you keep wanting to talk shipping, you let me know. Let's do this one. This is, the post office, they do round up. This is a really gorgeous piece of milk glass, you guys. This is an antique piece of milk glass. And of course, I don't have my light near me. But let's see. Let me go grab my light because this one glows really, really pretty. Give my husband a chance to change the camera. Of course, I can never find my light. Don't know what I do with it. Oh, it's over there? You guys, I must have 3 black lights floating around, and I can never find one when I need it.
It's right there.
Oh, it's right in front of my face. Oh, imagine that. It's right there. I always weigh my items, but I load from my phone, and there's no way to there isn't any way to put measurements on the front end. Whatnot assumes a 12 by 12 box. So when you load your items to begin with, you're assuming the 12 by 12 by 12 size. Then when you ship, you change to the actual box size that you're using, if it's anything different.
Southern Charm, even if I had one black light for every single room, she'll manage to put them all in the same place and forget about it.
I will lose every black light. All right, we're going to switch a camera. We're going to run this one here. But the older the milk glass is, we've got a ton of lights. There we go. You can see that green glow on there. So the older the milk glass, it'll glow. Also, milk glass, the older it is, if you hold it up to light, you will see the ring of fire. So you'll see either a orangish red or bluish tint when you hold a piece up to the light around the edges. So let me show you this one. That is not a crack. That is like in the mold there. But this is a beautiful, We do have a little chippiness going here around the rim. This is an antique piece. How absolutely beautiful is that? That is so detailed, so gorgeous, and it's all the way around on those edges. We'll show you the bottom. And those are not cracked. That is all like within the mold there, the way it was made. And we're gonna go ahead and get that going. We like to do 10 seconds with a 3-second restart, even though I Love Discounts tells me 3 seconds isn't enough. I do not know the year. I'm guessing probably early 1900s, maybe 20s, just a guess. It is a
365.
365, there you go. And that's running right now. I'm gonna stand up so I can grab these items easier, then I'll sit back down. And JV Strip, thank you so much. That is heading to you, this beautiful piece of milk glass. Let me grab our label here. All right, next up is this eyeglass. I'm gonna stand here for a few minutes while we do this. Look at this one, and we will get back to talking, you guys. It's just a UV light, so it's nothing special. It's a standard 365 that most resellers reuse. I would definitely suggest, I have a smaller one I keep in my purse, that you should always have one because you would be absolutely amazed at the stuff that glows, particularly clear glass. That is my favorite. We all know that uranium glass glows. That's easy to see, but you would be amazed at some of the other stuff that actually glows. All right, so we have, this is one of those eyeglass. So they would put the eye, either water or some eye type of solution in there, and they would wash their eyes out with it. So that's what this is for. One of the old ones. I think these are pretty neat. Eye Winker, is that what it's called? That's up and running right now. And of course it's that Cobalt. Cobalt glass is so cool. I'm gonna have to grab something to show you guys that I just got at auction. I'm not running it today. It's coming up in my glow show. But Annette, thank you so much. I got the coolest glowy item. At least I think it's one of the coolest. I will grab it as soon as we run through these and show you. It's pretty neat. Let's do that little guy. So I labeled this a chipmunk, but now that I look at it, do you think it's a beaver, not a chipmunk? Because it is a piece of wood. I said chipmunk, but it might be a beaver. Look at that tail. It is a porcelain, little porcelain piece. Adorable. It's a beaver. Okay, so y'all, not chipmunk. It's a beaver. It's running. You know, I never saw, speaking of chipmunks, I've seen beavers before. I never saw a chipmunk in real life till I moved to Pennsylvania. It's a bluebird. Well, I know that's a bluebird. I got that one. Shalom. Thank you so much. That is heading to you. I never saw a chipmunk in real life until I moved to Pennsylvania. And I thought, good morning. I thought chipmunks, because like Alvin and the Chipmunks, for some reason, I thought chipmunks were like bigger animals. They are all over up here. Yeah, you'll be driving down the road. You see them everywhere. But they're like little tiny. Okay, I was 50-something years old before I realized that chipmunks are little. Yeah. I should be blonde sometimes. I really, really should be. All right, let's look at this. They're really adorable. I have 2 of these guys. We'll run each one separately. So we have this. This is Hull Pottery, Hull, so Hull Pottery. And they are the swans. They're kind of funky looking swans. To me, they're like kissy swans. They look like they want to give you a big old kiss. It's kind of washed out in our light. I don't know if we can fix that. But these are actual little trinket trays. So they were made to put your rings or your little goodies in there. And that one is up and running. Well, that's going. I'm going to grab this glowy item to show you. That's so cool.
She finally stopped talking. Yes, wise old black lady.
I finally stopped talking. What was I? Shalom. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My husband's like, you talk too much. I'm like, it's a chat show. What am I supposed to do? So I don't know. We have another one here, so it's exactly the same. This is the last one I had. I just have the 2 of them. Is it up there? Or are we going to wait on this one? Oh, did it disappear? It did. Hold on. We're going to run this other one. There it is. I'm going to run this guy here. This is the next one.
Absolutely. Send me a DM.
and it is up and going. If you are interested in the other hole, it is exactly the same. Thank you so much for your bids. Shalom. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's do the carnival glass. This is a beauty and it has 3 feet. I'm obsessed. I don't like feet, but I'm obsessed with 3 feet items. And of course, this one has 3 feet. So I would just buy it just for that fact alone. This one's really cute though. Really bright orange carnival glass creamer. Can we switch? Oh, he's turning the lights on. You switch over for me? Thank you. Look at, you know what the coolest thing about that carnival glass is how like all the different colors reflect off of it. And of course you have your 3 feet. I'm not sure on the maker on this one. So who here researches every single item you sell? I can't. I research ones that are unique to me, new to me, pique my interest. Oh, Monster Mama, thank you very much. Let's see, where are we going to put that? Over there.
Really, SS? Really? No more Subway for me? That's so mean.
And he did. What did we end up having? Oh, did we even do dinner that night, or did I do Subway? We went to pizza for lunch for his birthday.
No, we didn't go to pizza for lunch.
Yeah.
I was starving, and so was she. And there was a pizza joint on our way home that we stopped at to eat.
But it is the best pizza we've had since we've been in Pennsylvania. So let me say that it was a nice coincidence. We were driving by a pizza place. All right, let's check out this one. I love the bigger ones of these. I actually bought a bigger one. I probably bought 2 from Southern Charm that I have displayed in my house. I was really tempted to put this little guy with the 2 bigger ones. But this one's different because usually they're all one color. And look at the multitude of colors in this. How beautiful is that? And of course, then you've got that swan neck. You could put an air plant in there or use it as a little trinket dish. It is hand blown, and that's running right now. I really love that blues. I think that's really pretty. All that swirled. Thank you for your bids. And shalom. Thank you, thank you. Let's see here. We have a few more items. We have Wedgwood. Wedgwood ashtray. If you guys like Wedgwood, Saturday I'm going to have quite a few more Wedgwood pieces. And I have some of the purple and white Wedgwood. It's more of a lavender and white coming up on Saturday. Hopefully I'll get that loaded by in the next day or 2. But this is your typical Wedgwood. It is the ashtray. These are great to hang on a wall. You can put a little hanger up there and they go great on gallery walls. So that's up and running right now. Great condition. They're also good for little trinket trays. Are you in trouble on Saturday? I've got some good pieces. I have some black and white, some lavender and white, your typical like your green. But I probably have about 10 pieces. Hazer, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Let's see, what do we have?
Thank you, Southern Charm.
Thank you. Ducks in the chat for first purchase.
Thank you
I
for
can't
your
see them
first
right now,
purchase.
so I appreciate anybody pitching in and helping me remember. All right, let's do, this may be Dumbo. I can't call it Dumbo because there's nothing that says Dumbo. There's a sticker that says made in China, but it is a very pale pink porcelain elephant. So it is very reminiscent of a Dumbo elephant. Look at how cute. It's coming across white, but in person it is a very pale pink. And we have the made in Japan sticker down there. It is absolutely so adorable. I saw it and I'm like, I can't leave this. This one's just too cute. I got to bring that home with me. Shalom. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we'll do this one. This has been around for a while. I'm surprised that this one's taken a bit to sell. I've had it probably for about 2 or 3 weeks now in these shows. But it is a pottery piece here, a trinket dish. Are you going to switch the cameras? Well, hold on, but I want to hold it up to show the details. He always wants to do the camera from the top, and I'm like, no, do the side camera. There you go. Look at the details on this. It is a pottery piece. It's Stengel pottery, and I don't even know if I spelled Stengel right in the description. Really good shape. And there you have your marking. It's upside down, but Stengel pottery. And it's really, really pretty. All the way around, you've got those little flower designs. It's in great shape. That's light reflecting. There's no chips on there. And now you can show it from the top if you like. And it's running right now. Well, now you could do from the top. That's what you wanted.
She wants to do the modeling, and she shows the marks upside down. And
we talked tech last night in our podcast, and I was saying that one of my biggest struggles, Coast, thank you so much. That is heading to you. One of my biggest struggles with technology, besides not being
On its way to you.
using it very well.
Thank you, Southern
Thank
Charm.
you.
Thank
Yes,
you
text
for
in the
your
chat.
first purchase.
Besides not using technology very well, obviously my husband is fantastic with technology, there's this constant push and pull between the two of us where he wants to go overboard, in my sense, like do everything like super high tech on our shows, and I want to pull back and be like, sometimes I think less is more. So there's this constant between the two of us, this push and this pull of where the line is on technology.
Oh, beware what you wish for. She'll be running her shows on the phone next time.
All right. Let's do this last one and then we'll get talking. Thank you for your purchase from the bin. This is a Fenton Moonstone, so the opalescent Moonstone candy dish. And look, it looks, let me put it the right way. It's a heart. How cute is that? It's in great shape. It is unmarked Fenton. And that is running right now. And I see that cookbook bid. We'll do that one too while we're here. You have one of these, Southern Charm? I think they're so pretty.
You can have two.
Coast, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And we got this cookbook. So I picked up recently a few cookbooks that I've been putting. It would work great if you had a button to prompt some effects. So it would be great, Wishes. That's what my husband has, but that's what he's programmed. I think it would be kind of cool if Whatnot built some of that stuff in. It may just get overused then, though, that everybody would be doing it, and it would lose its appeal and charm. We've got to be careful. There are things going around Whatnot that I feel, just my personal opinion, the trendiness, sometimes things just get wore out too easy. Or here's the other thing to keep in mind on Whatnot. Supply and demand. There's always a push and a pull. If there's too much of something, people don't want it as much because there's too much of a supply and not enough demand. All right, we have this cookbook. It's in great shape still. Where is this one from? I put in there 1955. So pretty old, but it's in great shape. The binding, here, let me show you the binding. The binding is still good, and I'll just show you the dates so you can be certain of what you're buying there. I know people like the old cookbooks. And I don't know if you can see it, but if you zoom in, right there is your copyright at 1955. That's the most recent date, so that's the one I went with. So we're going to go ahead and run that one. And that is up and going. Did I see somebody just bought that amazing compote from the bin? Congratulations. I'm going to have to pull that out and show you. Shalom, thank you, thank you. Who got that one? Coast, congratulations on that amazing compote. Shalom, this is a cool cookbook. I am not going to stick this sticker. We're going to put it on there. I don't want to stick it on there. All right, I want to show you guys, I know for 7 years old, a couple of really cool glowy things that I just picked up. Yes, my love.
I'm going to show wish list the buttons.
Oh, he wants to show off his buttons really quick. All right, show off your buttons.
You ready for the buttons?
Those are his
There it
buttons.
is. Those are my buttons. That's just one side, and then I have all this side.
There's the ones that
for
control the
rest of
graphics.
buttons. So these are the graphics, and this right here are the cameras. All right, back to her.
So that's how he runs our show. But I'm not selling these now. These are coming up in my glow show. But I just got these, and this is 2 examples of glass that you wouldn't think. The ring bunnies. I love discounts. It's coming. I'm going to mention that in just a second. This is glass that you wouldn't think that glows, but actually does glow. So check that out. Look at the green on this. This is a purple apple, but purple glass usually glows. This one is really, really bright for purple because purple is usually more of a murky color. So how cool is that? That's coming up in my glow show. And that is a hollow. This whole thing is hollow. It's not even solid. And it's just amazing glow. And then the other cool thing is clear glass. This is my favorite glass that glows. So this is an EAPG antique egg holder, double egg holder, so you can put it on either side. How neat is that? And look at the glow on that. So this is the type of glass that I get excited about, and this type of stuff that we put in our glow show. So I just got these yesterday. As you can tell, the apple still has my auction sticker on it. But those are my favorite things to look for when I'm either going to auctions or buying at the antique stores.
Oh, Vivian, thank you for coming over.
Oh yeah, thank you for coming over from YouTube. If there's anybody else on YouTube, come on over, like Vivian did, and check the show notes, you guys. Always check your show notes. If you have never bought from me before, there's a special coupon code in there. If you've come over from YouTube and have never bought on Whatnot, there's a special code for you. And for all of you who are regulars and have been around, of course, we always do our rewards codes in the show notes. So, all right, what are we back to talking about? Oh, I was going to show real quick. Will you go grab, the piece that you broke, that we fixed? It is on the shelf on the right hand side. Will you go grab that? Because Coast bought it, and I wanted to show it because it is gorgeous. All right. What do we want to talk about now? Thank you guys for your bids on that stuff. I appreciate it. Let me get back over. Let's do another giveaway. It is on the right-hand side on the last set of shelves. This is why you label your inventory so your husband can find things. Have you ever seen, you guys, and I'm just going to pick on husbands for a second, all in good humor, but all of you wives out there, have you guys seen the app where the husband is holding open the refrigerator door and the ketchup is like right in front of his face, and the wife's like, yeah, that's my emergency contact looking for the ketchup? That's my husband. Just, I love him to death. In response to yesterday's podcast, I don't use 2 devices and have a stand fixated to a portable table and a stand moves up and down. That's pretty neat. I like that. So what wish list is referring to, last night on our podcast, we talked about technology. We went from very basic, what do you need just to run a very basic Whatnot show? Thank you for your purchase from the bin, to getting super advanced. And so we kind of went through stages, but one of the things that we all agreed is that you need some type of a phone stand or a gimbal. So if you're just doing stable, you're not moving around, a phone stand is like vital. How many of you have seen those shows and you're like this the whole time because their hands like this, they're shaking, they're trying to show you something, it's like this. I can't stay in those shows. They literally make me feel nauseous when I'm watching the shows. So a phone stand is vital. Or if he said he can't find it, told you he can't. I don't have to find it. I know where it is. So, if you are the one, the type of person you leave, yes, the other, I know it's like a lot of people can't stand that, but yet a lot of people still think their hand is steady enough to show items, and it's not. If you are doing a scan show, just number one advice, don't do that. But if you do a scan show, a gimbal, and if you don't know what a gimbal is, it is like a handheld phone stand that stabilizes the phone. It has the equalizer in there that it will keep the phone steady while you're holding it. Absolute necessities. All of us pretty much agree that they are 100% stuff that we need.
Yes, Ellen Charm, she drives me crazy.
All right. Why don't you put the bubble on you? Since you can't find it, I'm going to go find it, and you can put the bubble on you and talk for a minute.
Watch her. Watch her. She's not gonna find it. You watch and see. I know, right? 1 second. I agree.
Somebody's in the exact spot.
You can hear her whispering. That's so funny.
This is amazing. It was in the exact spot I told him it was in.
Yeah,
I'm going to
she
give him a
probably
hard day.
dug it out of somewhere.
All right, you guys. Coast just bought this, but I wanted to show Coast because it is so cool. But if you were here the other day, what are you? Oh, I will. Hold on. I will. If you were here the other day, you heard me tell a story about we were antique shopping and I saw this beautiful item and I said, honey, look at that. And he goes like this, picks it up by its head, and immediately the whole lid drops down and the head is still in my husband's hand. This piece dropped on a piece of pottery that broke the pottery into 4 pieces. Somehow, my husband walked out of that store with 2 broken items and a free t-shirt from the guy. Only my husband. However, since we had to purchase the items, we did repair this one. So I did put it full disclosures. It was all in the details descriptions. So we glued the head back on and there was a chip that was already there. That wasn't his fault. But this is the most gorgeous item, you guys. This is so unique. It is a old, let me see if I can find the exact name of it. It is called a Gillinder and Sons Westward Hoe. This is actually an American Indian figurine. But check this out, you guys. Check this out. This is what I saw to begin with and why I thought it was so cool. And why we decided to sell it even though it's broke. Look at that. How freaking amazing is that thing? Clear and frosted glass, and it just lights up. So normally if I repair something, I'm like, oh, I'm kind of iffy about selling it, but we deeply discounted it and put it in there, and Coast got a great deal. So I hope you enjoy it. I had to show this off because it's so beautiful. So when you're at the antique stores and you see clear glass, and Coast just got the giveaway, congratulations. When you see clear glass, definitely shine your light on it because you never know. I'm getting to the point now. Is it? Gillette and Sons is from New York? Cool. I had no idea. Gillette? No, it's Gillinder. Gillinder and Sons. Anyways, that was pretty cool. I'm getting to the point now where I could pick out the clear glass, like the EAPG stuff that glows for the most part. I bid on a whole lot of clear glass the other day. My son brought it over last night. I got it from auction from the place he works, and he brought it to me last night. And I'm like, did you check any of it for glow? And he's like, oh yeah, because he does a lot of the photography for the auction house. He's like, yeah, none of it glows. I'm like, are you sure? Half of the stuff glowed, half of it in there. He's like, oh my God. I'm like, you need to check better. Many glass necklaces that have beads that glow green. Yeah, I love the glow. I mean, I'm not, like, I don't even have any of it at my house that I display, but I'm fascinated by it. And so we do, if you're new to me, we do once a month, we do a glow show where everything we have is glowy glass of some sort. Let's see if I get back over here. Let's do another giveaway. All right, what else are we talking about today, you guys? Technology. Is it posted? The glow shows are posted, yeah. So we were talking about commitment, you guys. I know some of you are going to be, Tracy, you are absolutely freaking crazy. I know I'm just type A. I may have a little crazy, but I'm more type A. And I have my shows scheduled for the rest of the year. So I am good. I am crazy. I am good up through December. Actually, January 2nd. I have my big announcement show on January 2nd. All of my shows for the rest of the year are scheduled out. And to me, that's part of my commitment to myself, my commitment to my business, is that I put them on the schedule. They are there. The only thing that will change them is if my 9 to 5 says I have to travel and I have to be on a plane at that time. Even then, I will try to schedule most of my flights either before or after my show times as much as I possibly can. I commit the day before. So let's talk about this commitment. I think you do not have to be as crazy as I am and schedule out for the rest of the year. I do understand that's a little bit over the top. However, for my lifestyle, it works because I am scheduling my 9-to-5 job. I do have travel scheduled out all the way into 2027. So just in the course of normal life between my daughter's cheer and my 9-to-5, I know months and months in advance of various big things. So I'm looking at my business on how to make everything work. So I do schedule months in advance.
Yes, I love discounts. You're right. She's crazy.
Does that mean I can't have flexibility? No, things may change. A work trip may come up out of nowhere that I need to accommodate. But it's also the act of scheduling, the act of putting it on your calendar keeps you a little more committed. You do the day as it's happening. The way I will not put work dates on the calendar for less than a certain amount of money. That I'm used to this. I live in that world, so to me that's normal. I would venture out to say that on Whatnot, for most business owners, you should be scheduling out at least a week to 2 weeks in advance and make commitments at the bare minimum, at least a week to 2 weeks in advance. What do you always hear on this app? Have some shows scheduled. If you're a seller, everybody's going to tell you, have some shows scheduled so people can bookmark, right? That's standard. I don't think anybody's going to disagree that if attention gets called to you in a show and somebody clicks on your name, you want to know when they can come and see you. So that's just kind of basic. So you're already doing that. Why not commit to what you're doing? You're going to hear people say, just throw some shows on there. You can just move them around. You can reschedule them. That kind of defeats the purpose of scheduling a show. I get life happens, and I'm not talking about emergencies and those type of things. But it goes back to, this isn't like Uber Eats that I'm just going to drive when I feel like it. I'm just going to go do Uber when I feel like it. No, this is your business. Like, you should commit to it, because the same people who are going to move their show over and over, they're like, yeah, I'll throw 5 shows up there. I may not do them next week. I might do them the week after. Are the same people who are going to complain, how do I get people in my room? Nobody ever stays. Well, nobody can show up because they don't know when in the heck you're on. And then when you say you're going to be on, you don't show up. And I know that sounds harsh, but that's part of the commitment that you have to your business. I love discounts. Don't reschedule your show. That's one of the ways to get people in your room. Like, honestly, we tend to overthink, and we tend to try to make all of this so freaking difficult. It's not. You don't have to be like me. You don't need to plan until December 31st, and that's okay. But a week or two is a very reasonable amount of time to expect somebody to be able to make a commitment and plan. Think about how inconvenient it is for you in your personal life. I don't know, just think of anything like this ever happens to you. My daughter's in cheer. Maybe you have kids in another sport. At the beginning of the cheer schedule, it's a year program. I know what days they practice on. I have a good idea what weekends the competitions are on. I schedule around that. She practices on Tuesdays and Thursday nights this year, or at least for the rest of the summer. Guess when my shows aren't happening? Tuesdays and Thursdays, because I have another commitment. Well then, without a doubt, she's going to go to a Tuesday practice, and the coach is going to say, oh, we're going to call a practice for tomorrow night, less than 24 hours away. As somebody who purposely, Shalom, you got that giveaway, schedules things, that last minute changes drives me absolutely insane. I can't live my life in a state of chaos. And there's a lot of people like me. There's a lot of people that will say, oh, your show's going to be on at 2 o'clock on Saturday. I'm going to bookmark it. And in my head, I'm thinking, you know, I might be shopping, but I'm going to bring my earbuds so I can listen while I shop to this show because I want to hear it. And then your show doesn't come on. That's just disappointing your potential buyers over and over again. I just don't see the business sense in doing that.
I'm going to throw her under the bus because she has double scheduled herself before.
I have double scheduled myself. I totally admit. There are times when I will schedule something and then something from work comes up and I'm like, okay, well, how do we handle this? I will be putting my bio up to date. My next step is to study selling dates so I can figure out what will work best for me. And then awesome. And at a bare minimum, you guys, everybody should be able to commit to one show a week, your anchor show. You cannot tell me, for very rare, possibly, the professions I can think of that are absolutely crazy that you may not know could be like nursing, medical, like nursing, doctor, law enforcement type. Those professions could be very chaotic and crazy. Something can come up and it's like, nope, you don't have a 10-hour shift, you have a 20-hour shift. Besides those, most people could pick one day and time a week that if they made it enough of a commitment to themselves, could make it. And I would argue with a lot of people who say, no, I can't do that. I don't know what my schedule is. I can't do that. I would beg to differ that if it's important enough to you, you will find it and you will make it happen. That's commitment. Consistency then is getting out of bed and getting ready and showing up for that show. That's the other side of it. So. And I know people say, you're going to hear, and even Whatnot says, and I don't disagree with this. I'm 100% on board with this. The more you're on, the faster you grow, that you should be on as much as you can to build that audience base, totally agree with that. It's not realistic. That's the one that I think is not realistic for a lot of people. Let's face it. Whatnot is not made up of just people who have teams and warehouses and do this full time. That's some people on Whatnot. A lot of us on Whatnot have life. Like we have, other things happening. We have 9-to-5 jobs. We have kids. Good morning, Lori. Kids in sports, whatever it may be. And we can't do 4 or 5 hours, 4 or 5 days a week. It is, maybe I can do 2 hours on a Saturday morning or 2 hours on late night on a Wednesday night or something like that. And you can still build a business that way. Are you going to grow as fast? No. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to grow or you won't ultimately be successful. You believe that's the minority, is Ivory Beauty the ones who have the warehouses and the whole teams with them? I think that's a minority too, but yet that's the ones that Whatnot as a firm cater to because those are the ones making the most money for Whatnot. No, Wishlist Rose, that is absolutely not true. I have never run a 4-hour show. So two answers to your question there. First, how do you define success? Did I run a 4-hour? I've never run a 4-hour show. Yeah. So one, I would say, how do you define a success? Because what you think is success might not be my measure of success. What is a measure of success for, a card person, it might not be my measure. So define what success means to you first. Is that selling a certain number of items? Can you do that with shorter shows throughout the week? Is it making a certain dollar amount? Is it being on a certain amount of time? Whatever it is. And then the 4-hour thing, how many people here, let's just help Wishlist Rose out. How many people here feel that they're doing okay on Whatnot and they run less than 4 hours regularly? That their shows normally do not exceed that mark at all? I'm one of them. I do about an hour and a half. Setting number per show. See, and that have a goal that you're going towards, and that's your success goal. So Marjorie Gems doesn't run 4-hour shows. I know Southern Charm doesn't run 4-hour shows. Thrifty doesn't right there. Thrifty already put in there. 1 to 3 hours, what Liz likes, or 5 minutes. But it's because I love it so much. My daughter does our shows. Our daughter do our shows and is done. Yeah. So there's nothing saying that you have to run long shows. I only ran 6-hour plus shows, but infrequently, hour and a half, 2-hour shows, and then it's done. Yeah. There are a lot of people that are successful in their success is measured by you, not by anybody else. And so you can be successful meeting your goals and whatever metrics that you want to meet, running less than that time. Now, does being on longer help you grow? 100% it does. Why? More exposure. I mean, it's think about it like this. You can have a store. Let's just take Dollar General. Dollar General, let's say, is open from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. But Walmart's open 24 hours. Who's going to get more customers? Walmart, because they're open more hours for customers to come in than Dollar General. Could they both make a lot of money and both be profitable? 100%. So it's not about the hours you run. It's about the quality of your show, the experience, and building that base that come back to you. Oh, they haven't been open since COVID? Oh, I didn't know that. I try to avoid Walmart as much as possible, honestly. Good to know, though, just in case I have to do a 2 a.m. run at some time, I won't go to Walmart.
The accessory alchemist, that's interesting. You must be exhausted after the 6 to 10 hours.
Oh, yeah. I physically couldn't do a 6 to 10 hour show. I couldn't talk that much. Surprise, surprise, I really couldn't talk 6 to 8 hours. I like what Shalom says. I think we do make excuses sometimes, but life does get busy. It's a balance. It's 100% a balance. And this is what I say. Start with your one day and time that you absolutely commit to, and then add from there. Like, get used to one thing before you start piling on more. We come on this app, and the stuff we hear is, oh, you've got to be on for 4 hours. You've got to run shows every day of the week. And we overcommit, and we burn ourselves out, and we don't realize what it takes. Start small and grow. There's nothing wrong with that.
Wow. Yeah, that I bet the day after packing must be a long day packing. And then 12 and a half hours. Swamp Chick.
Goodness gracious. Unplanned.
I know I love discounts.
Like, unplanned. Yeah, I love discounts. It's a little crazy. I can't stay awake for 18 hours. My mind just stops working. And the accessory alchemist makes a good point. You've got to pack afterwards. So Whatnot at the Seller Summit, Whatnot did this thing about they picked the top 4 traits or characteristics that they have identified in the fastest growing sellers. So when somebody comes on the app, so they did some data research from new people coming on the app, the ones that seemed to grow the fastest had 4 things in common. One of the things in common, the very first thing they said, is they were running 4 to 5 shows a week for 4 to 5 hours a show. Okay, so let's just take 4 hours at 4 days a week. That's 16 hours a week of shows. For every hour that you're running, you probably have at least an hour of packing, more if you're packing anything breakable. So now we have 16 plus 16 is what, 32 hours? Now we're at 32 hours if it's an hour for hour, right? An hour packing for every hour you're on. If you're doing vintage, anything breakable, increase that. So you can, if you're doing breakable stuff, you're probably up to about 45 hours a week of just shows and packing. That doesn't account for sourcing, sleeping, eating, any other things in your life that you need to do, cleaning up your area, your administrative tasks of your business, posting on social media. So what you were hearing from Whatnot at that summit in that session, in that particular session, was the information geared towards people who have a team, who maybe, yes, I'm selling for 16 hours, but then I walk away to do all the other stuff while my team of people pack the orders. So you have to think that any information you get from me too. My situation is different than your situation. I'm sure we all have those unique things happening in our lives. You have to ask yourselves, where is the information coming from? Do they have employees? Do they work a full-time job? Do they have physical limitations that are preventing certain things from happening? So, but the problem is we tend to come on this app and we hear all this stuff and we see the success, what we consider success, and then we want to emulate it, but they have completely different lives. A lot of people will say, oh, I want to be like House of Coop. House of Coop is wonderful sellers and they're, by all accounts and purposes, probably very successful. They also do this full-time. This is their full-time job. They're not going somewhere else and working for somebody else from 9 to 5 right now. So it's very different situations, and we need to understand that when we start looking at everybody else. You wish you had that made $8 the last show. I missed the comment above that. So just think about that. And I fall into the same trap. Again, I messaged Southern Charm yesterday. I'm like, it's really hard to see this happening, you know? I fall into the same trap, but we've got to remember where we're coming at it from. I strongly believe, if you want it bad enough, you will make it happen. It's about the commitment that you have. And I'm going to keep coming back to that. If you want something bad enough, If it is important enough to you, you will make it happen. It's no different than anything else in life. If you want it bad enough, if
she wants the show bad enough for 12 hours, she's running her on her phone. I quit.
Yeah, be purpose driven. If I'm not one for excuses. Let me give you an example. And I don't say this to beat myself up. I just want to give you a real life excuse that I don't just say this on Whatnot. This isn't just my mindset on Whatnot. I believe this to be a true life thing, that if you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. I didn't go to college till I was 30 years old. I worked menial jobs. When I was 30, I went to college. I had 3 kids. My youngest was 5 months old when I started college. I was working 9 to 5, taking care of 3 kids, and going to college, okay? I did college for 9 years. Then 8 years, excuse me. Then I sat for the CPA exams for a year and a half. There's 4 exams. You have to study like crazy. They're very hard to pass. There's like a 52% pass rate on these. They're not easy to pass. It took me 18 months to pass all 4 exams. You have to pass all 4 within a certain period to get licensed. And I did it, working full-time. I had finished college, but I was studying. And when you study for a CPA exam, it's like another job. You are studying 15 to 20 hours a week in order to pass these exams. I work now with a bunch of younger people coming in, a bunch of younger soon-to-be CPAs, and they're like, they work 40, 50 hours a week. They're like, I just work 40, 50 hours a week, single, no kids. There's no way that I could pass my CPA exam. There's no time to study. There's no time to do it. Well, do you want it bad enough? What is that going to get you? If you pass that exam, what is that going to do? It's going to instantly give you a huge raise. It's going to instantly give you $20,000 to $50,000 more a year in pay. Do you want that bad enough? So I don't put up with excuses a lot. I don't, and with my own children either. I think if you want it bad enough, you will make it work. You will find a way to do it. Did you go to college in your 30s with 3 kids? Shalom, I didn't know that. Anything is doable if you want it bad enough. I'm succeeding on another app, District, and I think that's make me discouraged here on shows that flop. Honestly, wish list Rose. If you can do District, Whatnot is 10 times easier. I tried to do District and didn't like it because the app now that they may have changed it, this was a good year and a half ago I tried it, I felt the app was so clunky. I did like 5 shows. I made money on there, but I felt the shipping was terrible. The shipping was way worse than Whatnot, and the app was clunky. So if you found success there, you can absolutely find success here because mechanics of it is way easier here. So if the mechanics are easier, you can get your focus on the selling side. You got your masters in your 40s. There you go. See, these things are doable. So take your real life successes and apply them to Whatnot. You want a successful Whatnot business. You want to grow. You want to make an X number of dollars or sell X number of items. Figure out how to make that happen. Plan for it. Have a strategy to make it happen. I say this all the time. People will say, well, I can't control how many people bid. I can't control the pricing. No, but you can control what you buy and what you sell and when you sell it and how many items you sell during a show, which then results in how much money you're going to make. You absolutely have the power and the control to make it happen. That's my soapbox. That's one of my soapboxes I get on a lot. I just don't really believe in excuses. And I think the commitment side of it, I woke up and I didn't feel like doing my show. Oh, you can reschedule it. You don't worry about it. You can just change it. If everybody operated like that, how chaotic would this world be? If every time you wanted a Big Mac and you went to McDonald's and there was a sign on the door and it said, we decided to go to the beach today. We'll be open tomorrow. And then you go back tomorrow and they're like, we didn't feel like getting out of bed. We're too tired. We'll be open next week. How would you feel about it? It's the same thing with your Whatnot business. How do you think your customers are feeling about it when you constantly reschedule shows? I've said this before. If you reschedule on me twice, I'm probably not coming back to your show. I'm going to feel like you're not reliable. If I get the feeling that you're not reliable, that you can't even commit to showing up and doing a show, 1, why should I give you that respect and still be there too? But 2, how reliable are you going to be on shipping my items to me? Are you just not going to feel like doing it when it comes time to shipping? Are you going to take 4 days? It's about your commitment to the business. And I'm probably losing a lot of people, and probably people are getting pissed off because I say this, but I'm going to speak the truth. For a Big Mac, you would still be there next week. For the fries, I'm not a Big Mac person, but McDonald's absolutely 100% has the best fries. Let's run another giveaway. We'll get that going. All right, I've gone off on commitment long enough. What else is on your mind? What are you guys thinking about? What have you seen? What have you questioned?
Everybody, put ducks in the chat. It is time for
Do we
pre-bids.
have stuff in the auction? But there's nothing there, is there? There are pre-bids. Look at that. Look at my husband reeling me back in to do the pre-bids. You agree with me? Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to rub people the wrong way saying this. I know I am, because a lot of people are like, no, this is my side gig. I'm going to do it when I want. Look, if you want to do it when you want, that's okay. We all run our businesses differently, but then don't come back and complain that people aren't in your room or you're not growing. You got to take the good with the bad. We pay, those are the consequences of our decisions. Thank you, Shalom. Let's run these last few things here while we take a break and think of another topic. So what would be a workaround for a mom of 3-year-old? Would you run shows at night for an hour or two, or just do it during the day and embrace it? Vivian, so before we run this is a great question, because I think this is super important, because so many people fall into that type of situation with the littles at home, right? Can you do it at nap time? That's not always consistent, right? Maybe there's not a set nap time. Maybe they wake up. It's hard to be concrete. I would find at least one day and time a week that you can have an hour and a half to 2 hours that you either have childcare, you have somebody else that could come and hang out with your kid, so that you can focus and do what you need to do. If that's not possible, then maybe you're looking at an early morning. Maybe you're looking at a 5 a.m. before they wake up, or a 9 p.m. after they're in bed. There should be one day and time that you're like, yeah, for the most part, I think 99% of the time I could commit to 10 o'clock on a Tuesday night, or 5 a.m. on a Saturday morning. That's what I would do. Or if you have help, have somebody come for 2 hours. If dad's around, have dad watch, or if there's another sibling or a grandma or whatever, best friend, who can help and keep the kid entertained. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to say another controversial thing on here. I think it's very distracting when there are little kids, somebody's trying to sell, and there are little kids in the background going, mommy, 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 hold on everybody, let me go turn the TV on. Hold on everybody, let me make lunch for my kid. Mommy, and you hear this over and over. I find that very distracting. I don't think it's professional. I won't stay in shows like that. Do I give you props for hustling the best you can as a mom? 100% I give you props. But this is a business too. The people come to think, the problem, it's not a problem, but because Whatnot's so easy, because you can get a phone and hit go live, you think you can just blend it in with your life, and you don't take that perspective of, this is a business. This is something I'm doing to make money. So I think it's 100% doable if you have little kids. You just have to figure out the timing on it. Seeing this potentially being an 80-hour week job if you're serious. Absolutely. House of Duke, it's absolutely an 80-hour. If you're doing it full time, look, you've seen those memes that I'm so glad I decided to work for myself, and now I get to do whatever I want with my 120 hours a week that I'm working, right? It's true. When you work for yourself, it's almost harder than working for somebody else. I work my 9 to 5, and I'm probably putting in 20 to 30 hours a week on Whatnot also. But I want to. That's my commitment to make this grow.
As you can see, she doesn't keep quiet for 1 second. Cool Comics, I read your question. I was going to say, maybe you need to be like me. I'm ugly but lovable.
Hold on. I missed the question. I'm so sorry I missed. There we go. People hate me. How do I... Why do you think people hate you? Has somebody told you they hate you? That's a hard question, but here's the reason I'm asking. Because a lot of times we think that we know how people feel.
I think she's missing the rhetoric on the message.
Maybe I am, but...
It's just going way over her head.
Everything. Thank you, Shalom. Thank you. Yeah, y'all, you can put it'll go right past me. I'm like that in real life too. I don't pick up on clues. I am like laser focused and don't pick up on things.
Wish list. We did one yesterday. Where were you?
We did. If you guys want to hear a little bit more about tech and more advanced tech, go to check out our YouTube channel. While I get the item ready, my husband can throw that up there for you. And if I Love Discounts is here, or Millicent's, maybe one of you guys can throw it in for us, please. And who's getting that giveaway before I turn my back? Treasure chest.
Congratulations.
Wish list is not, the app is not friendly for the tech show. The vertical aspect is difficult to manage.
And the base. All right. We're going to run these items. Let's do this one first. This is a Fenton. Did you throw the reselling roundtable up there?
Nope.
Oh, if you want to watch a tech show, this is not just tech. We did tech last night. We do all different topics. Myself, I Love Discounts, and Green 13, we do a YouTube podcast live, so you can ask questions. And it's every Sunday night at 6:30. Here is the YouTube if you want to follow it. And it's totally okay on Whatnot. You can we can promote our YouTube because we are not selling on there. So it is totally okay to promote that. So if you want to go and subscribe, it is a really cool podcast.
Ooh, we have 118 views from yesterday.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. We're going to go.
And Shalom, you were talking about the bubble. I wasn't in the bubble yesterday. I was in camera yesterday.
Thank you, Vivian. Yeah, we enjoy doing it. I think all of us agree that it's fun to do the podcast, and I like that we have different perspectives, but we all like each other, so we can disagree with each other and still be friends at the end of the day, which is pretty cool. And I don't know if you guys saw, but I got to make a guest appearance on Green 13 show. I was pretty honored. We went to pick up some stuff that we bought from Green 13, and they were doing a show, and I got to say hi to everybody while I was there.
She crushed the show.
All right, I kind of like you. I Love Discounts a little bit. Okay, so we have this Fenton hobnail. We have one candlestick holder.
Good morning, Miss Liz.
Hello, Liz. One candlestick holder. It is Fenton hobnail. It's beautiful. We're going to show it. Has a tiny bit of wax in there, not a whole lot, a little bit. Pretty easy to clean, just a little wax. Beautiful milk glass, running right now for $1. $4.50 shipping. Can you do a show, or have we done a show on setting up OBS? Hazer, thank you so much. That's heading to you. So my husband has done a show on OBS. The problem is, because of the vertical setting on Whatnot, it's hard to show a whole screen. So it's easier to do one-on-ones where he can do FaceTime and actually share and show you the screen.
She's answering things that she doesn't even know.
Okay, I should shut up because that would be like him answering tax questions. My love, talk about your OBS while I get the next item ready.
Right. So the Accessory Alchemist. The thing is that in order for me to guide you through certain things as a tutorial, I need to be able to share my screen. And on a vertical aspect, the screen on a computer is going to be so tiny that the details are going to get lost. And so it's very difficult to share a screen on the vertical on the portrait mode. And that's the reason why I choose to do it differently. So you get the full experience and it's a little bit better. You can get a better understanding if you watch it. And if you want the time to be able to try it on your own, we have the time to be able to do that. Otherwise, it's just going to be a waste of time because you're not going to be able to see the details and exactly where I'm clicking and where the mouse is. It's so tiny, it disappears.
So OBS,
it's
Open Broadcast System?
Open Broadcast Software.
Software, okay.
You see, she's talking.
Hey, I said it questionably. I said it in the asking
OBS,
way.
what it is a program that runs on a computer and allows you to do different things. It's basically a software that turns into a video switcher. So you can have multiple cameras and you can have different effects. You can create animations. You can have different plugins to do different things. If you go to the card category where they sell the cards, the sports cards and the Pokemon cards and all those, they are very heavy on using OBS, and they split the screens and they do a bunch of different things with it. It's very cool.
So to answer two questions that are coming up. For the Accessory Alchemist, message Zoe's team mod. He'll put his name in there, and he'll set it up he'll reach out to you and set it up. You do not have to have OBS. OBS works with Whatnot. You don't have to have it for your shows. There is a steep learning curve. I think there's, because I'm not like really good with technology. If that's your thing, it may not be as steep of a curve. You don't have to use it. It's all about creating an experience. You can create a really wonderful, amazing, successful Whatnot show and never touch OBS. There's a lot of people who don't, that do really awesome shows. So it's just, is that something you want to incorporate or is it not? It's just like any other tool on here. Honestly, the reason we do it, I said this last night, I'll say it again. When I first started, like I'm a CPA, and when I first started on here, I wasn't really, I was very introverted, very shy. I'm still an introvert, but I was very shy, and I wasn't really like engaging, and there wasn't a lot to watch. It was a dry, boring show. I kind of sucked. I wasn't doing very well when I first started. My husband watched it and he said, we need to spice this up. Like, you need some help. And that's where our graphics started was, all right, I got to have something to kind of help me out as I grow and get better on these shows. He is not using OBS. He does a whole bunch of other advanced stuff, but OBS could do a lot of the graphics that he does. Like you could do like hearts on the screen or stuff like that with OBS. No, the side, what do you use to do our different cameras?
So you can do that on OBS. You can set up the cameras in the same manner for OBS, and you can switch the cameras also on OBS. Yeah, the ring bunnies, those are coming. I love discounts. And just to touch on, there's another questions. Are there any groups or group chats and communities for vintage sellers? Yes, there is. If you go to the community, you'll see a bunch of them. There's a lot of people that are doing chat shows on that. As you can see, my wife is one of them. So, but there are a bunch of other sellers that are not in vintage that do community chat shows too, and they're very good.
Yes, and Shalom, we will. Yep, let me run through these pre-bids and we'll talk about the algorithm. Ring bunnies, you guys, I didn't mention this before, but I Love Discounts is going to be down here next week. They are taking part of the Shop Happy Challenge. Really cool challenge if you guys are interested. It's about going on for so many days in a row, and each day is a different type of thing that you need to do. But they're going to be here. One of the things in the challenge is to try something new. And they are going to run a show in our studio using OBS. Or not using OBS, but using our graphics. So check out I Love Discounts. My husband is making ring bunnies for them. What those are, you're going to have to come and see. Not going to tell you anything more. We're going to have a little mystery there.
So the Accessory Alchemist, what I mentioned yesterday on the podcast was that I started growing the different things that we do on our show, and it got to the point where the computer that I was using to run OBS, I was demanding too much of it, and so it started not working the way I wanted it to work. And to prevent that from happening and still have a successful show, what I did was I switched to a more professional type of setting. I've been doing this for a long time, and throughout my years doing this, I have accumulated some equipment that allows me to do different things. So I have video switchers that are dedicated just for that, to switch cameras and to create different special effects. So that's what I did for a living for a long time.
Granny Core Pirate, to find the community channel, when you open up Whatnot on your phone, there's a little button at the bottom that says categories. Community is its own category. So there is just like vintage, women's clothing, jewelry. there is a category called community. So if you click on that, it's going to bring up anything that we put in the community. So these shows I do in vintage because I'm selling, but I have like my Friday morning shows, all of my accounting, tax, business shows, they're all in community. And there's a ton of community shows on a variety of topics, from teaching yoga to cooking to business talks. Absolutely. If any of you are not looking at that community category, highly, highly suggest it. Good morning. All right, let's go ahead and turn this over. If there's more questions, keep asking. We'll keep going back to it. I am going to talk about the algorithm a bit in a minute.
Good morning, Thrifty Gypsy. And like anything, learning something, it might be challenging at the beginning. Try to think about when you started driving. It's the same thing. And once you do it enough, it just becomes second nature.
All right, we're going to do this. Westmoreland, Thumbelina designed pattern, mini creamer. This is a smaller one, as you can see by the size of my hand. It's just not even a full hand size. It's a little creamer. It is milk glass. Westmoreland, running right now, up and going. Thank you for your bids. I love discounts going to the Michigan meetup. We are doing a Pennsylvania meetup too, you guys. Some kinds of Southern. Thank you so much. If you are anywhere near the Pennsylvania area, we are going to do a meetup. It's going to be at the end of September. I will be giving more information. I know I said this last week too. I'm still trying to secure a spot, but we are doing a meetup, and it's going to be a really good one. We've been working behind the scenes. You are in PA, so stay tuned. I'm going to, throughout my shows, you're going to hear me talking about it. And all of our shows are on YouTube also, so if you can't catch one and you want to get information, you can always check there. But Northern Maryland, so anywhere in this area, we're going to do it. It's going to be around the Harrisburg area is where we're going to have it because it's easy to fly into, a lot of hotels available.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's open to everybody. We are going to cap it at about 125 people just because of the facilities I'm looking at can't accommodate more than that. It's going to be different. I'm not going to give the details right now. This is not going to be your typical meetup. It's going to be networking. There's going to be some breakout rooms, but we also have some other elements. My husband's a tech genius over here. So just be on lookout. It's going to be pretty cool. We're going to have some stuff that no other meetup has done so far. You know me. I like to push the envelope. I like to do things different. So doesn't matter. It's open to everybody. It's going to be open absolutely to everybody. Yes, Southern Charm. I'm so glad. So it's going to be good. Just trust me. It's going to be either in one of the last 2 weekends of September. I'm in talks with venues right now trying to figure out which one will work, what date is going to work, what pricing is going to be good for to reserve the place. So, all right, let's do this one. This is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Look at this green vase. It is made, it had some marks here. I'll show you the marks because I can't read that, so maybe we can, if that matters to you. Is that left in?
That's my problem right there. She wants to be the Dana White, and then she moves the item, and she's going to put the thing that she wants to show you right in front of the chat.
Sorry. Is that left in? I cannot read it. So, but there's your mark. You can zoom in if you're on a phone. Oh, it is left in. Check it out. Left in China, hand painted. And see, look how shaky I am. This is why we don't hold our phones when we do shows. And it is absolutely stunning.
And that's the reason we'll have all the cameras, so she doesn't have to hold them, but she wants to play with the items.
And we are running it right now. Are you collecting this pattern? Awesome. It's a beautiful pattern. And Granny Core Pirate, that's going to you. Thank you so much.
I'm not sure. The question is if it's a 1918.
Hey, please, on pedestal or raised. It has tiny little, the depression, the yellow one in the bin, it has tiny little feet, like tiny little feet. So it's raised just a little bit off the surface. Hopefully that helps. I can grab it and show you. Let me run this next thing and I'll grab it. What are you trying? He's giving me his hand signals again. I have no idea.
Can you check? They were asking if there's a date on the vase.
Oh, is there a date on the vase?
Good morning, Aaron.
There is no date. There is numbers on the bottom that says 4072, but there's no date per se.
Hey,
I don't know if that
Don't
means
Be.
something. Hello, Aaron. All right, let's do this money clip holder, and I'll grab that depression glass just so you can see it. No obligation, but I'll bring it out so you can see it. So we have this guy here. I thought this was cute. It's a little bit worn, but this is an old like money clip change holder. So like the gentleman would fill it up and put it in their pockets. And what's really neat about it, we'll put it down here, is you get your money clip. You got your money clip, and then you have spots for your quarters, nickels, dimes, pennies, and it's like a little plastic insert, but you can actually put your change in there. And it says like penny, dime, like where you would put it. How cute is that? It's a neat little thing. Now, we do, look at it, it's been around. Somebody used it, somebody loved it, carried it around in their pocket. I've never seen one though, so I had to buy it. It is cute. I don't know about you guys, but all the change I get gets just dropped in my purse, and then it rattles around and I'm digging around like some raccoon at the cash register. The Accessory Alchemist, congratulations, that is heading to you.
Thank you.
All right, he's going to go in the bubble. I'm going to grab that depression plate really quick, because we know if I sent him, he won't find it.
So she says. So, if you're curious about tech, the podcast yesterday, we talked a little bit about tech. So, and if you still have questions, you're very welcome to DM me. And she's back.
Here we go. So here's the one that you were asking about. The feet look like this. Let me turn it sideways so you can see there's just little feet there. It's too big for that. It just kind of sits up just a little bit. So hopefully that answers your question. We can, let's see. If you like, we'll go ahead and run it. Let's have some fun. It is amber. It is gorgeous. Look at the pattern on there. I will run it. And since I like to run things for $1, we'll do it for $1 right now. It is up and going, if you are interested in it. It's a beautiful one. I like that you can use this just like as a riser, or use it on your vanity to set your perfume bottles or something on top of it. Doesn't have to be for cake. Shalom, thank you. All right,
Thank
so
you.
Shalom asked if we could talk a little bit about the algorithm. So let's talk about the algorithm, because it is one of the most misunderstood things, the things we question on Whatnot probably the most, besides how to get people in our room, right? So what we know about the algorithm, let me get back in my chair here, would work great. Yeah, it would be perfect for a jewelry show. There are so many things like from the kitchen that you can use for jewelry shows that I wish I would have thought about when I was doing jewelry. So algorithm, where do you get the absolute truth? Because there, again, just like shipping and like everything else, there is a ton of misinformation about the algorithm floating around on Whatnot. Under discoverability, so go to help.whatnot.com. In the search bar, type in discoverability, and Whatnot spells out exactly what drives the algorithm. It is not how much you charge for an item. It is not how you list an item. It is not tapping on the screen. Tapping on the screen does nothing for the algorithm. Right from the words of Whatnot's mouth at the Seller Summit, giveaways do nothing for the algorithm. None of that drives the algorithm. How you're acting in your show, what I'm saying here, if I'm standing on my head, if I'm dancing, none of that matters to the algorithm. What matters comes down to a couple key things. The biggest being activity. Activity happening in your room. What's activity? The chat moving. So anybody who's telling you to keep the chat engaged, keep people talking, that does help. That's activity. But even more so is running items. Running items is the activity that Whatnot wants to see. Why? It makes sense. If we just take a step back and think about it from Whatnot's perspective, it makes 100% sense, because when we run something, the odds are people are buying something. That means money in Whatnot's pocket. That's what moves the algorithm. The other thing that under that discoverability section that it says moves revenue, yeah. The other thing that it says is your basically comes to your account health. So what your rating is, how fast you're shipping. So those metrics that they accumulate on you under your account health also plays into where you are going to get put. So what kind of, let's even dig a little bit deeper. What is the account health driven off of? Your customer service. Are you shipping on time? Are you answering customer requests on time if you're in the customer service program? Are you not having a lot of complaints coming through? Are you not having a lot of, refund, cancellation requests, things like that? So your customer health and the activity in your room is what drives the algorithm. There's so much misinformation. I have heard, some of the misinformation I have heard is you can't put numbers in front of your auction items. That messes up the SEO. You'll never be found. Putting numbers in front of your auction items has zero to do with anything. Zero. It's not going to change anything for you. It's not going to change your algorithm. It's not going to not make your items be found, because the search engines work off of key terms. So if you put in there Lefton green vase with flowers and somebody's looking for Lefton or Lefton green, even if I have 005 and the title, it's still going to find Lefton green. It's looking for keywords. So it doesn't mess up anything. Additionally, your auction tab, the stuff you have in your auction, does not need to be optimized for SEO. Those items that you were running in your auction are not showing up on Google. What's showing up on Google that you may want to have a little bit of a better description is anything in the marketplace or the bin, and which is different than your auction tab. So there's the truth of, do I want a good description, a good title for my bin and my marketplace items? 100% you do. That shows to Google, but that has nothing to do with the algorithm and where you are placed. Yeah, so many rumors. So here we go. Understand how discoverability works on Whatnot. This is where you go. This is the ultimate truth in everything, you guys. Always rest at terms of service. Always go back to Whatnot, help.whatnot.com. But let's see, I keep scrolling down. Right there it says it's, hold on, stop. Scroll back up, I'm sorry, just a little bit. I want to read that sentence. These feeds are based on discoverability techniques driven by a variety of signals. And now they're about to tell the signals. So signal insights. The user's explicit and implied interest in categories, sellers, and listings. So if you continually shop with certain sellers, those sellers are going to continually be shown in your For Me or For You page. The quality of the experience, here's our customer service. The quality of the experience provided to buyers by sellers, including the quality of the show, listing quality, time to drop off shipments, order fulfillment, refund rate, cancellation rate, and more. So while Whatnot is not saying account health, what are all those things? All of those things tie back to your account health. So if you're doing your job as a good seller and keeping your account health good, you are helping yourself for Whatnot's algorithm to be boosted a little bit higher. Show title does not matter. Show title doesn't matter at all. But let me tell you what I Love Discounts gave us a hint. I Love Discounts. I hope hope you're okay with me giving this information out. Where your show title can help doesn't matter in the Whatnot algorithm. Let me take a step back. When you're setting up your show, what are the things that you need to pay attention to that does affect the algorithm? The category. Because if a user has an implied or expressed interest in vintage, you want to make sure that you're in the vintage category if that's where your stuff is selling, to drive people to that. The other thing are the tags. People can search by dollar starts, and only people who have tagged dollar starts to their show are going to come up in that feed. So your category and your tags are very important. Your show title, it does nothing for where you are placed in the algorithm. If you are multicasting to YouTube, now your show title means something, because YouTube is SEO driven, right? When people search on YouTube, they're searching certain keywords. So if you might want to have a title, vintage decor, granny core, aesthetic or something like that. So if people are on YouTube searching granny core, yours will be picked up. So adding a word or two at the end of your title, even if people on Whatnot can't see it, if you're multicasting, can help with SEO for your social media or your YouTube discoverability. I hope that makes sense. Do you have your numbers for tax bookkeeping purposes? That's another thing I've heard. Swamp Chick, explain that. Are you talking about numbers like in my auction tab where I put 001, 2, 3? Oh, absolutely no. It has nothing at all to do with tax. Nothing whatsoever. Whatnot, all of your accounting and bookkeeping, your bookkeeping and your tax stuff should be done outside of Whatnot. Whatnot is the platform, it's the delivery method that we're using to sell. That little place inside your inventory where you can put your SKU number, your cost, the cost you paid for the items, it's kind of useless for inventory or bookkeeping purposes, honestly. So it has nothing to do with it. I number my items. The reason I number them is because when I'm doing a show, I list them in a certain order. You will notice on my Monday, Wednesday shows, I don't take time to number my items because I only run things that have pre-bids. So you guys as an audience are telling me what you're interested in, that's what I'm gonna run. My Saturday shows, those are curated shows. I number them in order, in the order that I want them to run. We go back to that bell curve. So we work up to our bigger items and then we kind of cool back down. So I number them to have that specific order, but it has nothing to do with accounting or bookkeeping. And so we answered that. Let's see, every morning I search the whole app for creamers, wall pockets, etc. And then I choose in products after reviewing and I go back and choose in shows. There is a perfect example. Thank you for explaining that to Bird Theory. A perfect example of how Whatnot actually like people search. So think about this. There is a user right here says they collect creamers or they collect wall pockets. They're going to go to the search bar, type that in. And then once you're in the search bar, you can pick users, products, shows. So you can look at products and you can see as it comes, here's everybody that has creamer in their title. So, or if you go to shows, if you have a show that has nothing but creamers, you might want to title it with the word creamers in there because it's going to be found in that manner. But it's not about, your show title has nothing to do about where you're placed in the algorithm. Are there any other questions? Look, I'm not an algorithm guru. I do not know all the ins and outs of the Whatnot algorithm, nor does anybody else. Let's make this very clear. Nobody else knows the ins and outs. The price, I've heard this misinformation. The price you sell an item for is going to affect your algorithm. So if you price everything really high, you're only going to attract people who want high-end items. There is nowhere in the Whatnot discoverability that says how you price your items affects the algorithm. Nowhere. Whatnot spells it out for you. Go to Whatnot. If somebody, good morning, if somebody gives you advice and says this is what affects the algorithm, you want to make sure you're optimized with all your SEO stuff for the algorithm. Go back to discoverability. If it doesn't match something that's in there, their advice isn't right. It's what's in that. Whatnot tells you how their algorithm works. Is there any book you recommend that helped you as a seller? Book I recommend. Yeah, I liked Biology. It's B-U-I-ology, Biology. That was recommended by Green 13. I found that one to be interesting. As a seller, that really dives into the psychology of how people buy, like the buying psychology. So that was a good one. Other than that, probably not. I didn't read a lot. A lot of what is that a book, Shalom, Great Expectations? A lot of what I talk about comes from personal experience of being in business for 30 plus years. So I was a CFO at a nonprofit. I have been in the accounting world as an auditor I love discounts. What is that? Why? What is an OMG? I have been in the accounting world for many, many years, and I've worked with a ton of business owners. So, and that's where a lot of my stuff comes from. Now, if you are interested, I do have a book coming out. My book, if you look, I just said earlier, I have shows scheduled all the way through the end of the year. On January 2nd, I will be releasing my book to Whatnot. So I already have the cover of the book up there as my thumbnail, and that is coming out in January. I am currently in the middle of writing that. And a lot of that is based on a lot of the topics that I talk about on my Friday shows. So that is in the works. I have long-term goals. Look, this is my base year. I am setting a foundation this year for Zoe's Treasures, and I have some big plans for 27, 28, and 29. So there is a lot more to come for Zoe's Treasures. So I will eventually recommend my own book, but not right now. Somebody who does read a lot and will talk about books a lot is Green 13. I would highly suggest checking out his, if he does them, he didn't do them this last week, but he was on vacation, Sunday morning at 8 a.m., his chat show, or during our podcast on 6:30 on YouTube every Sunday night. I would ask him. He has a lot of books. He's recommended a lot throughout the course of watching his shows. I love discounts. I still want to know what, oh my God, Tracy, what are you saying? What is that in reference to? Did I do something? Did I not do something? I'm anxiously awaiting here what this result is going to be. Oh, that I'm writing a book. Does that really surprise you? For those few who kind of really know me, does that really surprise anybody? So, all right. Y'all, I think we're starting to wind down a bit here. We're going to go find somebody to raid. I appreciate you guys being here. Happy Memorial Day. I hope you have some great barbecue and that you don't get rained out today. We will be back on. I'm going to be on tonight is the last night of Ledger to Leadership. It is week 12, so we're wrapping up a 12-week course. And then Wednesday morning, we'll be back at it with this type of show again. So have a great week. Have a really good holiday. And we will see you soon. I guess Noelle's picking the raid today. Oh, we're going to go see Liz.